Hi, everyone. I am so happy for all of you guys to join us tonight and attending our first virtual bar experience brought to you by St. Elder Artisanal Liqueurs alongside Rhode Island Monthly.
And we're really excited to do both a simple cocktail and a more upscale version of that, which we have bartender Willa Van Nostrand on hand to show us how to do that. And she is from the company Little Bitter Artisanal Cocktails.
This recipe is based on the Grapefruit Cocktail. And I have the book here. I pulled out my library, and this is the Savoy cocktail book. The recipe calls for the Grapefruit Cocktail. This is for 6 people, mind you. The juice of 1½ lemons, 2 small spoonfuls of grapefruit jelly. What? Grapefruit jelly, and 4 glasses of gin, of course. Then you add ice and shake. So that recipe is kind of the basis of the Greyhound. And no, there's no grapefruit jelly in this, but we do have the Pamplemousse liqueur, which is a really
nice flavor.
Yeah, good, really good citrus, really good balance of sweetness and sourness. And I'm going to build that recipe for you presently. And I'm using a cocktail glass because originally this drink was up. And I will begin with my bottom shaker. I'll build this dry. When I say I build it dry, that means that I am not building over ice because I want to have control over how much water dilutes into my cocktail, into my solution, before I shake it. This way I have a better sense of being able to control how watery my cocktail is, essentially. So you grab your bottom shaker or your bar glass if you're using that, and then you build. Let's see. Okay, so for the St. Elder Greyhound, we have 1.5 ounces of Graingers Deluxe Organic. So you put your jigger, this is your cocktail jigger, over your bottom bar tin, and you pour directly over the bar tin so that if you spill, none of your beautiful spirituous nectar goes onto your surface. It goes into your bar tin, this precious liquid.
And so, not that, nope.
I'm going to show you I have a little bevel here. Maybe perhaps you can see. That's 1.5 ounces in this jigger. This side's 2 ounces, this side is 1 ounce. There are different sizes and different ounceages for different jiggers. So thought you should know. So over your bar tin, pour into your jigger, and I'll do things kind of slow just so if you're going along, we're at the same pace. Into your bottom tin, fabulous. Then it's 1 ounce of the St. Elder Pamplemousse, again, over your bottom tin. So funny, I'm going up on my tippy toes here. This whole side of this jigger is 1 ounce. There we go. It's a really pretty kind of cloudy, kind of this dreamy pink color. I'm really feeling that. White spring, pink spring. And then for this recipe, it's 2 ounces of fresh grapefruit juice. I have that prepared here. This was about 4.
Is all that on your own?
I did. This is about 4 grapefruits. So this is the whole two sides of this. 2 ounces of this into the bottom tin. And that is our dry recipe right now. Now we will add our ice, making it a wet situation. So as I add the ice, time is on. We're paying attention to how much time we're going to shake. I ice my tin about 3/4 full. A little more. You procure your top bar tin and you fix the top tin over the bottom tin. And can you hear that? There's a vacuum seal that happens when you push it down. And then you want to keep the seal. And so you want to make sure it's off to this kind of diagonal. And what I do is I put my hand upside down to kind of reinforce that seal, and then to shake, which is one of my favorite things in the world, and something that I think everybody should feel empowered to do and explore their own ways. All right, so your left hand, if you're right-handed, your left hand cups the bottom of the tin, your right hand is covering that seal to kind of reinforce the seal, and the whole thing flips over your right shoulder like this. I'm gonna do it again. You plant your feet. I always say it, you're like up at bat, play ball, because
make a cocktail.
yeah. It's an athletic, this is a sport. Okay, so upside down here over your right shoulder, and I'm gonna do a 10-second long shake. So yeah.
Shake it, Willa.
I shook it. Break the seal. So if anyone has trouble with that, a best kept secret is that this hand can flex the top of this tin to help break that seal. You get your Hawthorne strainer. I'm chilling my ice. I'm gonna dump my ice.
Is that drink ready to go? Can I take a look?
Ready. So I'm going to garnish this. You can garnish it with a grapefruit wheel or a half wheel. You can garnish it with a lime if you prefer. At this, during this time, it's kind of like what you have in your fridge, perhaps. And let me tell you, any citrus will do in a pinch. I happen to have some fresh mint on me. So I'm going to garnish it with that. I want a little fresh aromatics. So this is the St. Elder Greyhound, and it's been sitting so patiently for us, and I'm going to taste it.
Looks great.
I can't not. And now I'm going to build our second cocktail, the Somersault. So the Somersault, that is inspired by the Salty Dog cocktail, which is a salted rim, Greyhound to recap. And then the Somersault, the flip, is the glass spinning in the sweet and spicy salt. And it's also like summer, like blossoming, gorgeous June, summer, and salt. So there's some poetry at
a lot to that
there. Yeah, so building this recipe, again, I'm beginning with a clean shaker, building dry, so not over ice. If you do build over ice, that's also not a problem. It's just a different style. And I am locating my jigger, and again, so 1.5 ounces of Grainger's Deluxe organic vodka over the bottom tin, up onto my tippy toes here. Ta-da! Into the bottom tin.
Awesome.
Fab. Now, 3/4 ounce. This is kind of a typical sour recipe. Okay, so I'm using my ounce side of the jigger, going for 3/4 ounce of my sweetening agent, in this case, the Pamplemousse, grapefruit Pamplemousse here. Okay, now let's see. Fresh lime juice, I'm doing equal parts of our sweetening agent, the Pamplemousse, St. Elder Pamplemousse, and fresh lime juice. So in terms of building, we're back over the bottom bar tin. I know, get me in line here, put me on the recipe. Over your bottom tin. Into the bottom tin. We have the salted, the floral salted glass going already, so that's wonderful. Now it's time to add our ice, include water into our cocktail, which is making the cocktail. The ice is making the cocktail. So it's not just a bunch of spirits and juice now. Okay, so I have this about 3/4 full, you'd like to see.
Good.
And I have my top tin, so I'm ready to shake again. I'll speed through this a little faster. So, bottom hand on your left hand on the bar tin. Top hand is on the large tin. Clasp over for a vacuum seal. So if you didn't hear it, do it again. Get it secure because you don't want this flying over your shoulder as you shake. It's very embarrassing. So clamp that down. I like to put my hand upside down, reinforce that seal. Left hand transitions from my left shoulder to my right ear. So the whole thing flips over. I'll do it one more time. flips over, and I'm going to do a 10-second long shake. So
That's why you have those guns, Willa.
5, 4, 3,
Go.
1. So now your bottom tin is your large tin. If you do it the other way, your liquids will go everywhere. Don't do it. Break your seal, hit the side, let the bottom tin drain into the top tin, or the large tin rather. Hawthorne strainer. You could double strain this into your cocktail glass. That means you take a fine mesh strainer and catch any of those little ice shards out of your glass. But I'm going free. Let's do it. It's summer. Oh, it's almost summer. And we get this Somersault cocktail.
Yes, that rim looks really nice. It's beautiful. A little bit of extra color in there, so.
Yeah. And now the garnishing part. This is where I have a ball. This is one of my favorite parts of cocktails and mixology and food and everything. It's such a fun expression of color, and it just gives the drink and the glass real personality. So I have lots of fresh mint in here. I chose the Bolero Marigold because they're very aromatic. They're like, when you know when you smell a marigold, it's a very sharp scent, which I like to foil the grapefruit tones of the Somersault and of the Greyhound. And yeah, they're just so easy to grow in your garden or in your windowsill. So I would like to see an asymmetrical garnish. And in this case, I will use odd numbers with my petals, as you do in all of garnishing. It's very similar to florals and design in general. The eye and the palette likes things in 1s, 3s, 5s, and so on. So I'll begin with 1 in the center, and you think, oh, yes, beautiful. It's already kind of washing away here, but that's all right. And then I'll do another one on top of it. I want 1 more. Let's see. I also have some calendula in here, so if you got some of these little petals, this is a medicinal blossom. It's very good for your skin, and
you can eat those petals, right? Are they?
Yeah. So all of these are grown organically, and or in this case, these are grown naturally, and you can eat them. It's like eating a salad. They just happen to be a little more floral, botanical than your normal lettuce greens. Okay, so I've found another petal. I'm going to place it, lift this up again, as a kind of third, and I'm almost reconstructing a flower out of petals, which I think looks very lovely. And I didn't intend for it to be kind of like smack dab centered in the middle of the cocktail, but it's working, so I'm rolling with it. As just an example of like, beautiful things happen when you're garnishing, whether you intend them to or not. And it's nice to just kind of go with the abstract form of it. I enjoy that. I have a really sweet, fragrant sprig of fresh mint. So I'm gonna offset this on the side of the glass. Yeah, okay. It's time for me to taste this. I'm gonna give you 1 more kind of.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I have one here too. Mine's not as good as yours, but I'm
great. Look at that. All right, I'm doing it. I'm tasting. Here we go.
Oh, that's really good. And I got some of the rim in the
So I get, like, off the bat, I get just a really nice kind of like, what is the word? Like, it's an ethereal sweetness that's coming from the grapefruit liqueur. I'm getting some heady florals from the rim. Yeah, so thank you so much. I am so excited to be able to kind of kick off this series. I think it's a really fabulous idea.
Just gonna jump back in. Thank you, Jamie, so much for hosting tonight. Thank you, Willa from Little Bitta. Thank you so much to Rhode Island Monthly and St. Elder Artisanal Liqueurs. We're so happy to have the sponsorship and partnership with you guys.
Thank you. So happy. Yeah.
Cheers. See you later.